People ask why this war is taking so long. Well, reason number one is because for the first year of the war, the Biden administration was stopping Israel from fighting to win and defeat Hamas. The Biden administration even implemented a dangerous arms embargo upon us, so that stopped us from fighting properly. Reason number two is because our hostages are still in Gaza, and the war effort prioritized saving the hostages, which slowed down the war effort. But the third reason is the real scandal that far too many journalists or public figures are speaking out about. The outrageous and dangerous role Israel's legal establishment, particularly the Military Advocate General, JAG, and the Attorney General are playing in this war. It is not just obstruction, it is endangerment. These unelected legal officials are tying the hands of our holy IDF soldiers, crippling our ability to win, and in doing so, costing Israeli lives. The hostages, the soldiers, and all Israeli citizens. Israeli MK Amit Halevi has been speaking out about this issue since the beginning of the war, as he is on the part of the Israeli Foreign Defense Committee, as well as journalists from Channel 14. But other than that, media silence on this issue. For the first time, a senior IDF official has officially gone on the record calling out the damage the legal establishment has done to this war effort. The quotes I'm about to share from a senior IDF commander in the Southern Brigade, who has gone public and on record, are devastating. In his own words, you'll see how Israel's legal deep state has tied the army's hands and stopped us from achieving the decisive victory we need in a much shorter time period. Through immoral court rulings backed by the mainstream media, they have deliberately paralyzed the very institution tasked with defending us and protecting us, the IDF. This isn't just inefficiency or bureaucracy. This is legal sabotage. We will win this war, and we will overcome their sabotage. But you must understand the truth of what's happening, the part the mainstream media refuses to report. This war should have ended long ago. Hamas, our Islamo-Nazi enemies in Gaza, should have been defeated long ago. Our sons in the army should have been home long ago. Our hostages in Gaza should have been rescued long ago. But they're not. And the reason isn't only Hamas. It's also the growing power of the legal deep state apparatus embedded within the IDF. Since the first day of this war, the same legal elite that suffocates our government has been micromanaging military decisions from behind desks, often prioritizing optics over victory and progressive legal ideology over battlefield reality to protect our lives. One of the few voices brave enough to go public is Brigadier General in Reserves, Oren Solomon, former head of combat in the Gaza division and a senior official in the Prime Minister's office. He is one of the heroes who left his house on the morning of October 7th to drive into the fire of Hamas and fight side by side with his own son at the Nova Music Festival on the morning of October 7th, hours before the army appeared. And he miraculously survived the fight face-to-face with Hamas terrorists. He then went on to battle in Gaza for months in the war and was later entrusted with leading the IDF's investigations into the failures of October 7th. He knows what he is talking about, and his investigations still haven't been made public by the IDF. In a recent interview, Solomon laid bare what many have been warning for months. The legal establishment is actively obstructing victory and putting our soldiers and all of us in Israel in danger. And I'm quoting Oren Solomon, Brigadier General. The political echelon defines the objectives of the army, Solomon said. In this case, the defeat of Hamas. But legal advice has grown in influence to the point where it jeopardizes the security of our forces and obstructs the attainment of the war's strategic goals. End quote. Let that sink in. Not inefficiency, sabotage. Our commanders are being paralyzed, the senior commanders. Our soldiers, including my own sons, have been entering booby-trapped neighborhoods and buildings for close to 2 years, knowing they cannot freely engage the enemy. Every missile, every target, every decision is filtered through a maze of legal restrictions, many stricter than anything required by international law, and that no other country abide by. And I'm quoting Oren Solomon again, legal advisors are fully integrated into planning and fire control groups. Every target must get their approval. A lawyer may rule that a 1-ton bomb is prohibited because it might damage nearby homes, end quote. And so, terrorists escape, a tunnel remains intact, an IDF commander holds back from attacking, soldiers bleed and even die. This isn't justice. This is insanity. Worse, our enemy knows this is how we act. Hamas embeds its fighters in hospitals, schools, and apartment buildings precisely because it knows Israel's legal system will shield them better than the Red Crescent ever could. Sometimes Israel does act, but many times it doesn't. Solomon warns in this interview, and I quote, even on October 7th, as our people were being massacred, orders were issued as if it were still October 6th, end quote. Think about that. As Israeli men, women, and children were being slaughtered, mass raped, and burned alive, our forces were being held back by legal concerns. While the IDF scrambled for hours to organize a military response, the 1st Division in the military to fully mobilize that morning of October 7th was not a combat division. It was the military legal department. Early in the morning, they're already right in legal headquarters to help with the decisions. Even more shockingly, the Attorney General imposed restrictions on military action until the government could formally declare war on October 7th, a process that took hours to accomplish because of logistics issues. How many lives were lost because of those legal delays by our legal elites? This kind of legal overreach in moments of existential crisis is unacceptable, and yet it continues to this day, almost 2 years later. The Military General's Office and the Attorney General's Office still restrict the IDF's use of force, even when such action could save lives or rescue hostages. Solomon revealed that if Gazan civilians refuse to evacuate their homes, the IDF cannot compel them to leave. Worse, if Gazan civilians remain in their homes, our legal establishment obligates Israel to provide them humanitarian aid in their areas, in their cities. Aid that then Hamas steals, and it doesn't even get to the civilians, using those same civilians as human shields for propaganda against Israel. Not even international law demands this, but our legal establishment does. Do you see the absurdity? The evil of our own legal officials that our senior IDF officials listen to. Our soldiers are being ordered to feed the enemy while our hostages rot in tunnels and are starved. Our own legal system is forcing us to resupply the very forces murdering our people. This isn't morality. This is national suicide. Even international law permits more than what JAG is allowing the IDF. Yet commanders are so intimidated by the legal machinery that many now pre-censor their own plans, discarding strategies before even submitting them for approval. Solomon himself called it self-censorship and warned it's even more dangerous than formal legal restrictions. And why are our senior legal commanders so afraid? Because the legal establishment warns we're going to call you war criminals. Our own legal establishment. This is one of the reasons this war has taken so long. So ask yourself, who gave these lawyers the right and power to dictate military strategy? Who made them the final word on war ethics, especially with their brand of progressive ethics that leads to Israeli funerals and prolonged captivity for our hostages and not have the ability to protect 10 million Israeli citizens with victory? No one. No one elected them. No one authorized this. Sabotage of theirs. The government can't even fire the Attorney General, which has been trying to do for months. Why? Because the Attorney General herself, together with the support and legal decisions from the Supreme Court, has been blocking the government from firing her. That's how insane and how powerful the legal system is, the deep state legal system. They have hijacked the IDF just as it hijacked the judiciary. And the cost is no longer theoretical. It's blood, our family's blood, our nation's blood, our soldiers' blood. Every soldier who died because he couldn't return fire. Every hostage still suffering in Gaza because targets were deemed too risky. Every terrorist who escaped because our bombs were too big and stopped from landing on them by the legal establishment. All of their blood is on the hands of Israel's legal establishment. I accuse the military advocate general. I accuse the attorney general's office. I accuse every unelected bureaucrat in uniform in the legal system who chose legal optics and progressive values over Jewish lives and protecting 10 million Israeli citizens. Quote, it's as if a boxer has been bound hand and foot blindfolded, forced to hop on one leg and still expected to win, end quote, by Oren Solomon, the Brigadier General. Again, we are winning this war, and Israel will win this war. But understand this ninth front in this war that the Netanyahu government and the Israeli people have been up against. We have the seven front war of Iran and all of its proxies in the Middle East. We have the global media war of lies against us, and we have this internal deep state legal system. This is why judicial reform is so necessary to put an end to this deep state stranglehold on our country and our security and protect our lives. It's time to cut the ropes. Time to take off the blindfold. Time to let our boys fight to win, protect 10 million Israeli citizens, and bring our hostages home. I call on every Israeli, every mother of a soldier, every father of a hostage, every citizen who is tired of watching this war dragged out. Demand an end to this legal insanity, madness. As Brigadier General Oren Solomon said, and I quote, "We are being tested in leadership and determination. Sadly, we are not receiving the leadership required." End quote. It's time to stop playing by rules the enemy laughs at us. It's time to reclaim our army from those who are obstructing victory from within. Victory delayed is justice denied and lives lost. We need to free our soldiers, free our hostages, free the IDF from this legal insanity. It's really immoral, illegal. We will win this war. We will break this legal stranglehold. We will make sure that October 7th never happens again. MK Amit Halevi has been calling this issue out since the beginning of the war as one of the most outrageous scandals of the war. The Attorney General and JAG restraining and stopping the Netanyahu government and the IDF with legal restrictions that prioritize Hamas's well-being over Israel's security and Israeli lives. This isn't just immoral, it's suicidal, and we will end it. In my eyes, Brigadier General Oren Solomon is not just a hero for his running down to fight at the Nova Festival on the morning of October 7th without any IDF orders or any units, or for his fighting in this war in Gaza itself, but he is a hero for calling out this deep state legal establishment scandal with his face and name behind it. I'm confident that we will be hearing more from Oren Solomon in the future. Because by more people learning about this issue, we will generate the public support necessary for the Netanyahu government to make the changes necessary. So please share this video with everyone you can. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. We are winning this war, and we will win this war. Not as quick as we want, and unfortunately at a higher price than we want, but it will happen. And for those of you asking, why are these legal establishment people doing this? It's about their protection as well, their lives as well, their own children's lives as well. Now you understand how strong the hatred for Netanyahu, for the religious, for the settler public is. That's what the deep state is all about. They're trying to fight the growing influence and population of the proud Jewish, religious, and yes, even settler population, resettler population in Judea and Samaria. That's what they're fighting, and they are willing to stop this war and endanger our lives because of that hatred. I've spoken about this in the past. I will go into more detail about this in the future, but that's what it is. And that's why you see so many headlines in the mainstream media calling out the messianic Netanyahu government, Smuchmich, Ben Gvir. The war is not about them. The war is about ensuring that the Israeli citizens, 10 million Israeli citizens, are protected and we never experience another October 7th ever again. You want to argue about the war strategy? Fine. But headline news and news reports every day calling out the horrendous government, killing the hostages, the messianics, it's all about land, it's all about the Messiah. No, this is about a government finally standing up to a dangerous deep state, willing to use the IDF to protect us as we should, and understanding land has to be taken and stayed there. And even that, Netanyahu still isn't strong enough to go all the way, all 9 yards. He's still not willing to say we're going to stay in Gaza forever, we're going to stay in southern Lebanon forever, or southern Syria forever. He's still not saying that. That's why I don't know if all those things are going to happen with him as prime minister. But the Jewish people are understanding, because reality is proving to us our security in the Middle East, surrounded by billions of people, educated by a 1,400-year religious ideology, jihad of taking over the world, where they're using violence in Paris and London and Toronto and New York and Los Angeles and Dearborn, Michigan. It's not about us, folks. We're just the canary in the coal mine. We are the front line of the whole freedom-loving world against this growing tsunami of the Red-Green Alliance, the socialist, neo-Marxist, Islamist alliance. And this government is trying its best to stop it here and protect our lives. And it's only if we have the complete victory that your lives can be safer. But yes, even Netanyahu is not willing to go all the way. But we're in the process of the Jewish people waking up and realizing we will have to go all the way and retake our biblical lands, not just because God told us these are the lands for us to live in, but because that is the only way we will have safety and security, in addition to then being able to fulfill our purpose as the Jewish people in our ancestral homeland. But reality is showing us it's about our safety. That's why we're going to make Gaza Jewish again. We're going to make southern Lebanon Jewish again, southern Syria Jewish again. Again, whether it's under Netanyahu or not, the process has begun. It's going to happen. But now you understand why even Israeli legal elites, media, courts, they're all trying to stop this war. Because to them, they're trying to stop the growing influence of the strong, proud Jewish public in Israel, even if it risks their own lives, because they don't get it. They don't care. We are more of a danger to them than Hamas and our Islamo-Nazi enemies. But again, we will win this war against our external enemies. We will overcome these internal challenges as well. Strengthen your faith in the one above. The Jewish people are strong. We're going to overcome this minority of voices, even though they're powerful, but they're a minority. Am Yisrael Chai. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect, truthful videos about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world, what are you waiting for? Go to pulsevisual.com and click to subscribe today. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We need your donations for support in order to make these videos and get our videos seen and do all the work we do. So every once in a while, whether a large donation or a small donation, just go to pulsevisual.com and click on the donate button. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.